Hello everyone, it's Dylan DePriest here. Tonight I'm going to be making some dinner. So we've got some salsa. I'm going to be starting with these fresh ingredients you see in front of you here. I have some shredded beef, probably going to make some quesabirrias. Not following any formal recipes here, nothing traditional. We're just trying to mix some ingredients together and make some delicious food. So what I've got in front of me, I've got some tomatoes, then I've got some serrano peppers. I'm using a shallot. A lot of times you can use garlic, that's what most people would use. Red onion, and then we've got some cilantro and salt, garlic powder. And first I'm going to start with these tomatoes. So I'm going to just take 2 of our tomatoes here. I'm going to pick them off of the vine, and I'm going to set this one aside as well. Now, if you want to have something that's fire roasted, but you don't have a setup, like I live here in an apartment complex and I really can't have anything too big or too fancy as far as like a charcoal barbecue grill, something like that, what I do is I will cut them up into these rings here. So we're going to take our tomatoes here, pop them down in the cast iron, flame back, and we're just going to move over the tomatoes. Our goal is not to burn the tomatoes. That just came in from nature up above there. Our goal is not to burn the tomatoes, but you do want to get a little bit of a char on them. It's real easy to burn them up, and you just want to char it, and you kind of want it to break, but you don't want it to burn because it actually will just disappear real quick, and then you'll get too much of that ashy flavor that you're not trying to have. Alright, so I got those that are all flame blasted and fire cooked into my little hand crank food processor. So we're just gonna add some salt. And we're gonna be adding more, don't you worry. Now we're gonna move on to our next tomato. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dice this up. Alright, now we're going to take that, put it in the bowl, try to get all that juice off the board into the bowl. Now I'm going to try to do this as best I can for the camera. We'll come down here, and I kind of like these small pieces, and we're going to take that and put it into our food processor. One thing you're going to notice when you first crack open this food processor is how delicious those tomatoes smell. So we're going to make it more delicious by adding, you see some big pieces in there you don't want. You can add a little bit of this onion. Alright, our next ingredient is going to be our shallot. And so we're going to do exactly what we did with the onion. So we're going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to try to cut this really small. See if I cut that real close to the end, maybe 1/8 inch. Getting those just nice tiny pieces. I mean, that to me is an experience in itself, right? And then cutting this is incredibly satisfying. Alright, the next step is going to be our cilantro. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that bundle tight, and then I'm just going to go in just like that. Every 1/8 inch, as close as possible. Don't cut yourself. Do not cut yourself, because it sucks. Nobody wants red cilantro. Then what we're going to do with any of this stuff that looks like it's big, any of these stems, we're going to liquefy that. Okay, you take a look at your texture there. So that's just the liquid part. So we're going to get some chunkage, some texture, some all that in there. Now this is going to be probably something you got to scoop in, or else you might lose your ingredients. If you're working on a table as small as I am, pull it a couple times. I like to do it kind of gently because, I mean, the blades are going to chop some stuff, but you're not trying to liquefy the stuff you just put in there because you spent all that time prepping it. So you just want to get those chunks swimming around in there. Now we have our finely chopped cilantro. We're going to add some salt. garlic powder. Everybody loves the garlic powder. And now we can come in with a chip, taste it, see if it's delicious. One thing I will point out, it seems like you're going to use a lot of salt on salsa, but I imagine it's just because there's so much volume of liquid and ingredients and everything. You kind of got to use a lot. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, I'm going to go put it in a different container. I'm going to put it in the freezer, so by the time it's time for dinner, it's going to be nice and cold and refreshing. All right, friends, I'm back again. You thought I was going to forget about the peppers, didn't you? But I did not. Did not forget about the peppers. And we're going to give it that fire blasted flavor. That was a little quicker than the tomatoes because they don't have nearly as much water in them. So important. Add salt. Just like that. Now you have your own salted, delicious Serrano peppers that are fire roasted, and you can add it. Ooh, I'm tasting it now. You can add it to your fire roasted salsa as needed. Now we're on to the next part of dinner. You might be wondering what this is, and that would be very valid wonder because I was an idiot and did not record this when I should have, and that was a chuck roast. I got a 2-pound chuck roast and decided to cook it sous vide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this bag right here, and you're gonna end up with all sorts of liquid, and you want to reserve all of that. There's just all sorts of deliciousness that we don't want to go to waste. So I'm gonna take this liquid and I'm gonna pour it out over a strainer, and the smell right now is amazing. We're going to take our spoon and kind of, you don't want to force it through, but you do want to really get all that liquid and all that fat out of there because that's just straight flavor. Take everything. We're going to pour it all down into the strainer now. Look at that. It's falling apart, okay? I mean, that's just something different. Okay, so we're gonna heat up our pan. Doesn't need to be super hot. Preferably it's not super hot. But you do want it to be somewhat hot. So that's about good right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tortilla and I'm gonna dunk it in there. And you get that fat all over it. Not a drip, we're not trying to be greedy now. Oh yeah, I mean that's just, now we're gonna take a little bit of cheese. Come in with a blowtorch, real light flame, and we're gonna kiss the cheese. We're gonna take a little chunk of our birria, or shredded beef, or whatever we're gonna call it today, and we're gonna put it right on there. I'm gonna take a little bit of our salsa that we just made. Oh God, put it on there. Let's do a little more than that. Just like that. Let's take a look at that. Oh my goodness. That right there is the final product. All right, now this is the moment of truth, the moment we've all been waiting for, or at least me, because I'm hungry. This is the final product. Look at that crunch. See that oil from the consommé? I mean, you just can't go wrong with that. A little bit of fresh salsa that we put in there. That shredded beef, I mean, it's so tender, it's so soft. We're gonna go in here. The first bite's gonna be all tortilla. Good, that's delicious. Folks, that's amazing. I wish I could share it with you. Let me go for a bite. This one's gonna have the meat, the salsa, the whole nine in it. Amazing. It's definitely amazing. Oh, that's good. Give a shout out to Arnie Tex. I've been watching quite a few of his videos lately, and they really inspired a lot of the more recent things I've been cooking, which is why I even started thinking about making this salsa. This is Cerveza Toña, Nicaragua, Lager Especial. So yeah, this is beer, and I really enjoy beer. So let's take a taste of it, shall we? So it's fairly sweet. This actually has quite a bit of body and like richness and sweetness. Not overbearing in any way, but there's definitely like a sweetness in there. I want to say vanilla, but not quite vanilla. Just somewhere in that neighborhood of like a sweet, almost sugary taste. I mean, it's delicious, man. I really think so. Anyway, folks, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. All right. Have a good one. Dylan Dupree signing off. Okay, one more bite. Dylan Dupree signing off.